Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about a few of the historical romances that I've read recently and that I've loved a lot, but I haven't had an opportunity to talk a lot about it in my videos. It's either because I'm either too lazy or because I quickly mentioned the books, but I don't feel like I gave it enough attention because these books are definitely worth hyping. So the first book that I want to recommend to you to read if you haven't read it already is actually one of my group picks for my historical romance book club that I host with Rachel from Rachel Read and Sings. This book is called Unveiled by Courtney Milan, and it's one of my favorites that I've read this year because of the sheer complexity of the plot. It's just so rich and so captivating, and I've never read a historical romance in a long time that had all these elements to it, so I have to recommend you to check out this book if you haven't already. So this one involves our heroine who has an estranged relationship with her father. She does not like her father a lot. Her father was very cruel to her because she was a female and she wasn't a male, and even so, her brothers treat her like garbage too as well. But she finds herself as the only one that cares for her father's well-being when he has grown old in age, he has been sick, and he is very delusional in a sort of way because of the illness taking over his brain and his body and his mind and things like that. So she wants him to obviously live out the rest of his life peacefully, but what happens is that scandal is brought down onto the family. Turns out her father was not a great person after all, and has raised a lot of random children that is not his heir but belongs to him. So eventually she falls from society, she loses her reputation in society, and things are not looking good for her, but she still is there to support her father even though her father is an awful person even when he's so sick and so nasty. So then in enters our hero who has always been wanting to get revenge on our heroine's family because he was personally victimized by the father and he just wants to see his life end in misery. So our heroine, our new hero, are on opposite sides, obviously. It's a Romeo and Juliet situation where they both families hate each other, where they both have reasons to hate each other, but they also end up falling in love with each other by accident when they spend a very close amount of time together. And soon we learn more of like the complexities of our characters. I especially adored the hero a lot because our hero may seem like he is an evil man out to go get revenge on people and that he doesn't care about a lot of people, especially in his life. But in reality, he is haunted by a secret of his own and he is feeling a little bit like he does not belong in society for certain reasons. And when we figured it out, it was one of the most heartbreaking and touching moments I've read in a long time in historical romance. I love this book a lot. Rachel and I both agreed that it was such a great book and I can't recommend you to read it enough. If you're looking for a darker historical romance, then this one will definitely be for you. This one's called The Unwilling Earl by Sharon Cullen, and this one is a romance I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. It was honestly a random romance I picked up from my library through audiobook and I never thought anything of it, but this one took me by surprise. Basically, this one has a murder mystery element to it. It has darker elements to it where there is someone who is literally out there killing females and there's a serial killer, and our heroine finds herself in danger because her maid mysteriously disappears and she soon thinks that people are following her and people are out to get her, and she is haunted by the fact that there are so many different females in society that are disappearing, and then there's also like random bodies showing up in the river that belong to people who are of lower class. And so our hero is there to protect her because our hero feels that she is in danger. So he offers a hand in marriage to kind of bring her into protection and to bring her into like his home. Our hero actually has a secret, and his secret is that he isn't just a man in upper class society who is a very educated person and works in government. He actually works with a group of friends that he has that solve mysteries in London. And he's kind of like a superhero in a sense because he solves crimes, he fights people, and he tries to keep his identity a secret. It was such a fun read. I never thought that I would really like this book because I've never heard of the author before. I never heard about this book before. It's definitely different from all the other historical romances that I've read. So the next book that I did read was this one from Kat Martin called Heart of Honor, and I really enjoyed this one because I'm a sucker for a heroine who is bookish smart and who is very caring and very supportive of our hero who thinks that they are lower in class or they think that they're not as intelligent. This comes really into play with the fact that our hero is actually a Viking, and he's from a different country, and he was captured during war, and then they shipped him off to like the British Islands, where they think that he is a Neanderthal and that he is uneducated and he doesn't know how to speak English. So then there's a further language barrier, and people think that he is just like a dumb person, but when in reality he's just speaking a different language. He's not accustomed to like this culture and this like upbringing that the British Islands have. And then our heroine's father is actually like a historical person. Like he really likes history. He's like an educated person, and he does like something with like languages. So our heroine does things with languages too. So she understands a lot of languages, and she is there to protect our hero from the judgmental eyes of society. And then our hero is like the super alpha Viking hero, where he claims her and he believes that she is her person and that he needs to bring her back to where he lives so that they can live a happy life. And it was just like this really fun story where our hero learns to be a better man in society, to be more like well clothed. And it's really fun story where we got to see our hero transform into more of a gentleman type of character and to learn how to communicate in English and things like that. And it was just so fun. I really liked it, and it was such a nice twist to all the other historical romances that I was reading too as well. So if you're into a shy heroine and kind of like a sweet talking hero, then you're definitely gonna like this one. This one's called Not Just Any Earl by Anna Bradley. Now, I've read a couple of Anna Bradley's books, and I'm about to recommend you another one after this one, but I really enjoyed the story. So this one involves our heroine, who is a wallflower among her sisters. You know, she keeps to herself. She's very quiet. She's very rule following, but then what happens is that I think her sisters and her have this wager going on once they go into London for the season, and the wager, I think it involves a lot of kisses, and she ends up kissing our hero, who our hero had no interest in her in the first place because he thinks that the personalities don't match. She's a wallflower, he's not, and he just never really thought too much of her. And then it's until he kisses her, and then there's just this spark that ignites between them, and he's completely smitten by her, and he can't keep his mind off of her. And it's in there where they kind of like develop their relationship. I really like the story because obviously I love a heroine kind of growing out of her shell and becoming a brighter and bolder type of person, and this was exactly that kind of book. But if you're looking for a hero who is grumpy, who's grouchy, and who's starchy, and who doesn't feel like he belongs to society, and he doesn't want to kind of harm our heroine in any way, then you're gonna like the second book in the same series that I just talked about from Anna Bradley. This one's called Earl Out, and essentially our heroine and our hero shared a kiss one time, and you know, our heroine really enjoyed it. Our heroine really liked him, but then they just separated and they just decided to go on their opposite ways. He wasn't going to kind of give in to his emotions for her, and then it's only until they meet each other again at his house party do they see that their connection is still strong, they still like each other very much, and that they can't fight the attraction that they have between each other. And I really like this one because obvious reasons. I love a grumpy sunshine trope, and I love a grumpy hero who soon realizes that he too deserves love as well. But anyways, that is it for all the historical romances that I've read that I haven't really talked about on my channel and that kind of went under the radar and are very underrated. Hopefully you guys can pick out some of these books and add it to your TBR, and I'll see you guys again next time in a new video. Bye.